So I can beat myself up about the way I spoke on TikTok. That being said, today, scrolling through TikTok, based on the reasons why they took down my whole account, I should not be seeing the videos that I'm seeing. So, TikTok took down Symmetry basically because I'm violating community guidelines. And from what I've read, the community guidelines that I'm violating, and based on the videos that they're taking down as they would get bigger, is that I'm basically marketing or advocating an eating disorder, and I'm endangering minors, and I'm engaging in like harmful and hurtful behavior, even though I'm literally just here communicating like, hey guys, I'm fasting, this is how fasting heals the body, and people are going crazy in the comments. But then they'll literally take it down for me having dangerous, harmful behavior and endangering minors. So, just based on that, here are some other things that are endangering minors, TikTok. I'm wondering why I can open up the app and I can watch a dog eating another dog's leg, and 8 people, they're all white people. So I'm sure if they were all black people, it would not have made it to the For You page. You can look that up because that's a whole thing, whatever. Like, literally my white friend was the one who told me like, hey, like, I heard that TikTok has an algorithm where they specifically analyze people's faces and they boost white people and suppress black creators. And I'm like, dang, that I guess sounds like the point of everything that's already been built. Because now it's like black creators are going to be supporting the app, but they're invisible. And then white people get to consume that content, and then they get blown up for making their version. Sounds like all of white supremacy that's already been going on. So, I'm just wondering why I can open up the app and watch 8 white people freaking out for like 2 minutes straight as a dog eats another dog's leg. Like, it was a pit bull eating a golden retriever. Literally, like just gnawing on its leg, and the golden retriever is screaming and yelping, and the white people are like all in their masks. They're like kicking the dogs, like trying to spray them. Like, literally, these are owners, by the way, and as in like there are 8 white people, and then like the 2 white people who own the dogs are like holding on to the dogs, but like they're not even doing anything really. It's just like 2 minutes of watching almost like dog fighting, but not. It's supposed to be chaotic and on the street of like, oh no, look, it had 1.6 million views. It had like multiple thousands of shares. You're telling me that that is safer and healthier for children to watch than me talking about fasting and me talking about how fasting heals the body? All these people, all these Americans worship Jesus for fasting 40 days, but you'll take down my account for endangering minors because I'm showing you how healthy fasting is. Meanwhile, you will boost up videos of not just dogs eating each other. Like, it was blood and everything. Like, it's, yo, how is that allowed? But all this hypersexual content of objectifying women, how? How is that more healthy than me talking about fasting? Like, why am I constantly seeing all these spirits in female bodies blowing up? Because they are literally showing what I'm supposed to project my sexual energy onto. Like, I can clearly observe how you train me to project my sexual energy onto women dancing in certain ways. And I can see how you're marketing it to all these other people who are way more naturally reacting to that energy. How is that healthy for kids? How is that not creating like body dysmorphia and just in general creating weird dichotomy of how one needs to communicate and show their body and present themselves in the world? How come I can watch people eating super unhealthy food constantly? So you'll market people eating garbage, but not people actually walking in the footsteps of the religions that certainly power your app. Okay. I got you, TikTok. And in general, all the people who are funding it and making it possible and have authority over that. Got you. I've seen so many more dangerous things on my For You page than kids. And even then, why take down my account when you could just put at the bottom trained professional? Like at this point, I'm pretty fucking awesome at fasting. So I don't see why. Yeah, I mean, I do see why, but also it's just boo. So changing the way I communicate. S versus T. So that's where I am. Tahuti Trismegistus on TikTok, TT on TT, and we will be much more like a tree with how we communicate ourselves into existence. And that should be much more stable, even though, again, it's just whack. I'm not in control of circumstances outside of myself. And if there's anything I hate, it is wasting my time, wasting my soul, building up something that isn't about to be supported. Building up something that is just going to get erased and taken down. Like, that's the worst. How dare you? Not a fan. So it's very important to take your S into your T. Take your projections into your reflections. Take your ability to look outward and go inward. And the more you take your ability to go outward and look inward, this is, the Bible got this from me. I'm explaining it in a way more artistic, simply symmetry type way. But this is seeing the speck in your neighbor's eye without being able to see the log in your own. So literally that tree stuff. The Bible took this from me. I'm just explaining it in a way more simply symmetry type way. It's that tree stuff. It's all about the trunk, the T inside of you. So T, right? When people literally, no coincidence, I can connect it all. When people are gossiping, they're like, oh, give me the tea, sipping on tea. I remember in high school, that Kermit meme goes hard. Bring Kermit back, sipping tea. Because this is what it's all about. Literally sipping on tea, you're gossiping by drinking this tea. By drinking the soul, by drinking connections, consuming connections, you're communicating about what you see. So that's the whole thing with tea. And seeing someone else's speck means that you have this own tea or this own trunk inside of yourself. So using your ability to project to then reflect is going to be a very awesome way to get this metaphysical cycle of self-sustaining creation going. Because when people are not being self-sustaining in their creativity, that means that they're being way more in their S energy than their T energy. They are going out. They are projecting way more than they are reflecting or connecting with themselves to build a structure that allows them to project. So this is where the snakes wrap around the tree on the caduceus to show how it's about being in union, like bringing your S and your T together. And then that literally looks like the S, symbol-wise, looks like the vibration. The T, symbol-wise, looks like the frequency. When you bring in your S and your T together, you have full energy. The energy allows you to innerly separate and fly away. And that's the freedom of using your mind to leave your body and relay messages throughout the universe and do what you got to do and communicate and be super awesome. And bring back way more wisdom from other simulations than you could ever possibly get from the world that you're in currently. And then this is how the world that we're in currently also expands and everything's connected through communication because we are the ones communicating life into existence. So your ST ability is literally you being able to project into yourself. And that's what our whole dissect the dialect kind of just, we keep coming back to with the cycles. Like the whole cycle of 3 in dissect the dialect is all about that. Projection, reflection, communication. Projection, reflection, communication. Fire, water, air. Fire, water, air. Fire, water, air. Fire, water, air. This is literally how all structures are animated and get built. It's how my body's moving right now. It's how your body's moving. Everything moves from doing this. A space projects, reflects, and then communicates so that it can settle into something based on how it's communicating. And now our structures, our bodies are constantly settling into new positions based on how our air is breathing. Our minds are expanding and contracting so that our muscles can expand and contract. Again, your body only matters because of your mind. Your mind is the muscle that makes your muscles mean something. And now you can use your mind to move your muscles so you can make money. Or make your light matter. Make your communications matter. Make your feelings matter. So sex is a sin when you constantly go outside of yourself to do it. Definitely. Like, that's very wrong. That's the whole point of Hermeticism. Like, this is why you, to all you women, like, if you're listening, you almost certainly are. You almost, you are. Whatever. I hope that because you're listening, you're just going to learn this and internalize the fact that I'm not attracted to women who are constantly chasing me. Like if you're a woman who's like literally like inside of these cults that I've had to deal with over my life, like if you're one of these girls, maybe I shouldn't even be saying woman. Like maybe I'll be saying a womb man, because like a womb man is grown. Like a girl, a G separates from herself. So these are all girls. I should not be saying women. A woman is mature because she is more stable. She connects with herself. So she brings womb to her own man. Literally. She brings life to herself. That's a woman. A girl is in her G energy. So she's constantly separating from herself based on whatever she sees. And that's these girls then thinking like, I'm going to be attracted to women who are constantly focusing on me and not on themselves. There's no shortage of girls who are focusing on me. What? Like how? Where is your individuality? Where is your actual authentic expression of who you are as a spirit? This is it? Snap. Well, I'm not attracted. Like, hey, you know, get it though. I am pretty cool. But like, that's not cool for me as an artist. Like, how am I going to be able to build with you? How am I supposed to build with a girl who's constantly just trying to consume me? And she's not connecting with herself or building her own thing. And she doesn't actually love herself. Because that's what it really comes down to. If you are a girl who genuinely loves yourself, you'll become a woman by connecting with yourself and bringing your womb to your man. And then you'll learn how to be self-sustaining inside of yourself instead of thinking that you need a man. And boom, now we have feminism. Lit. Like, there it is. Like, you are your own man. Your womb to your man. You're a woman. You don't need no man. You are the man. Now you're in the space of wanting a man. But you don't need a man. Girls are like in the space of feeling like they need a man. And that neediness is unattractive. No one's attracted to neediness. You can be the hottest girl in the world. If you're needy, you turn me off. And I'm pretty sure most men relate with this. Now, I'm sure a lot of men don't. A lot of men, I've learned, are so lost in light. Like, I lost so many male friends when I was going through the whole cult debacle of these girls like constantly harassing me and chasing me in like college and conventions. All the C energy, cults in college and conventions for Chase Clarence Calloway. Ugh. Past life stuff, it seems. The point is, everyone is just someone focusing on me to learn about themselves. So these girls are focusing on me in this way so that they can learn about themselves. And it's up to me to more consciously communicate based on how they've made me feel. I don't like how they made me feel. It's not been a good time. So just know that your actions have effects on people, and we're all connected. And it's actually not flattering for you to need someone else. Like, for you to need someone means that you don't love your own space. And then that's only going to make the other person worse. Like, this is why I had to do my 24 days of water fasting after my relationship in college. Because that girl, like, it was so positive. Like, we had so many good times. Oh my gosh. Especially because she was spiritual, actually. Like, she was subconsciously spiritual. Where she was like, oh, I felt like you're important. I felt like you're going to be really important in my life, was how we opened up our relationship. Before anything became more sexual and stuff. Because we were in the same fashion class. And I was just like, oh yeah, it's not cool. And we were just communicating and talking, and then things sped up, and we were all attracted, and things popped off. And then the cult started coming after me, and the girls started harassing me. And then very quickly, even though I literally was hyper communicating, like, I can't have a girlfriend in college, I don't want a girlfriend in college, I literally, please, like, I'm in college to make art and focus on creating. Like, I can't focus on building a relationship or just like having a relationship with someone like that. Like, I'll have friends, I'll have very awesome friends and other things, but like not that label of girlfriend. And she totally got that, but I have learned that women are always looking to cuff. I've never not experienced it, actually. Straight up, like, women, literally, that's their serpentine energy. Straight up, like, a woman will lie, like, oh yeah, he doesn't want to, be cuffed, he doesn't want a relationship, so I told him that I don't either. Like, okay, cool, but what do you want? Well, I mean, I want to cuff him. Got it. Duh. I've talked to more than enough women, I've been a man more than enough lifetimes. That's like how it is. And it's funny, alchemically, it all makes sense. Men being in their fire element, because we're about projecting, we're way more about freedom and like going out of the space. Whereas women being in their water element, they're way more about reflecting, and thus they want to connect internally and create stability to support that. So this is the balance of men and women. Men going out of the space and like doing things that are very fiery, versus women being in the space and doing things that are watery. That's then where we get the gender roles that people get lost in light with. Once you like have this understanding of the alchemy and the elements of it, you can see how it makes sense. Like, spirits who choose to be in a female body are choosing to resonate more with water than fire. Spirits that are choosing to be in a male body are choosing to resonate more with fire than water. And then it just naturally plays out that men are harmonious with women because we can communicate only through air. So all of life is created through masculine and feminine coming together to create children. And then, of course, we're children. Children grow up. They have sex. Life goes on. Sacred geometry. Like, I'm literally like seeing it play out in like shapes and fractals and stuff. Way before it ever becomes the crystalline structures that we then form into this sort of flesh, or this sort of body, this star man, this human star man of color. So yeah, symmetry's on Clapper. uncensored. Tahuti, the other thing was like literally I'm vaping in some of the videos, but it's also again legal here, and it's not me vaping actually. Again, that's not the term, it's a wax cart. But if that is a reason why as well that they can justify it, then so be it. I'm like moving on. Okay, it's just part of life. And again, all these memories in my soul. So now I can just like build better. Like all the hashtags I was using, like I got the views. Those people are in the algorithm. Everyone has seen my face and absorbed the words and connected in the way that they were supposed to at the time. It is actually not a big deal. They're just delaying the inevitable by cutting down symmetry. And actually, it made me aware of Clapper again. So Clapper is like uncensored TikTok, and hopefully it gets better into the future, because right now it kind of sucks. In terms of it's trying to be just TikTok, but it's not even set up that well. Although it does have actually some pretty cool features that TikTok does not. So that's where I am excited for it. It only sucks right now because of programming, and that's where I'm excited because everything is going to get better. So the universe has pushed symmetry onto Clapper. See why my tree is on Clapper? It's because it got uprooted from TikTok for being too psychedelic and too communicative. Something being too much about seeing reality, being too in the S energy, the SC. So instead I'll be more in the SC energy of making it a school, being cool as TT on TikTok, Tahuti Trismegistus, and we will keep it rolling, keep it vibing, keep it growing like the trees that we are. Nature truly comes back stronger. That is the point of evolution. We're all spiritually evolving just by living day after day after day. So this is why you are what you do day after day after day. Your T repeatedly. Your ST ability is you connecting with yourself over and over and over again. So now your life is a reflection. How do you connect with yourself over and over and over again? And then of course, based on the circumstances that you're in, you are at the whim of how the people that you're connected to are connecting with themselves over and over and over again. And that's where you don't have control over your circumstances when you are body outside of your spirit. But the fact that you created the situation to not be in control means that you are in control of your internal circumstances, and thus how you communicate your internal into the external. But you are choosing to give up your ability to fully be God and control external circumstances, because that's not relatable. Literally, it's not relatable. We don't agree to that as spirits. You don't get to just manipulate me because you want to. Like, if you want to manipulate me, you have to create light that can communicate to me in my own language and then get me to connect with you in the way that you want. That looks like infinite forms. We do that in infinite ways. It's very cool. But no, like the idea of this whole Christian Jewish mentality, there's a God that is manipulating everyone, whether they know it or not. That is some of the most evil, unempathetic garbage ever. That is what is fueling the genocide of indigenous peoples and fueling climate change and fueling the sex trafficking of women and children across the planet. That mentality right there. That everything is just an extension of one individual, so it doesn't matter. Don't take responsibility for your own actions. Now no one's being hermetic, no one's being Spider-Man, seeing how everything's connected, and that great power comes great responsibility. Boo. I'm not here for it. I'm not here for people not taking responsibility for their power. Like, this is like the only place I've ever communicated from. Literally, like, I as Chase have been raised by Spider-Man, metaphysically. Like, my father has literally just been me as a spirit projecting my masculine energy into the ideal of this superhero. And now I've like subconsciously lived out a lot of his stuff. That's a totally different podcast. But considering he's just a weaponized version of my energy anyway, that's where I had to be in resonance like that and grow up looking at this circular mirror of, white border where my mom wrote in silver, "Chase is great, and with great power comes great responsibility." 3 greats making a triangle right there. Triple the C. And it's true. Thank you, Mom. I literally let me shed all the water from my eyes to express how I picked the best mom in the entire universe to materialize into. She literally could not have done a better job as a single mom. Like, what the actual fuck? She has hurt me in ways that still hurt, that I had to reflect upon. That's the whole point of relationships and connections and family and all of us learning together. The point is, she did her best and she did a pretty awesome job, because I think I'm doing pretty cool. So shout out my mom, AU Dre, Gold Dre. Shout out my grandma, shout out my aunt, because I was mainly raised by 3 women. This man was raised by a triangle of women. And the Spider-Man father figure was only possible through my grandfather. So really my grandfather is the closest representation I had to a father figure. I spent so much time with him. So yeah, he came in to play as my father. Because he was not the father for my mom, really. But once she had me, he took that as the opportunity to step back in. And then boom, I'm like connected with multiple families. So I've had a very like active family life. I have a lot of family. Like, I love everyone so much. So my, like, how big my universal family is very much reflected in how big my physical family is down here. And just all the last names I could be connected to is funny, because it's like there's Ball, there's Haddon, and the one that I have is Calloway. So family's everything. Like, family is literally the whole reason why we create life. Literally, we create life so we can have a family. Come on, we know this. I'm just bringing the spiritual consciousness to how we do it and why we do it, and the grand scheme of what it means, and past lifetimes and future lifetimes and all that. Because this is what the tree is all about. A tree is literally built by a family of spirits. So this is why I'm just so hurt about the symmetry TikTok getting taken, because it like already was feeling like subconsciously I was building up a family of fasting spirits. Like, to have people who are passionate about fasting, people who are passionate about connecting with themselves through not eating and just drinking water and like healing their body, because it's not about not eating, it's about eating no food. And that's how I'm changing my communication actually for Tahuti. That's going to be one of the big ways. I feel like that's going to, like, just that little change will mean something. Like, not eating no food, N-O, but eating no food, K-N-O-W. As in, when you know who you are, you just straight up eat space, because you're eating your spirit. And that is how you then create chi that is more authentically in line with your vibration, and it raises your body to a higher frequency so that you can create more frequently and build what you frequently want to see. And having like all these people who are super vibing with that and getting that and down and connecting with it super hard was just so awesome. Like, all the comments about how the medical industry is literally, they create health problems. Finally getting to be connected with people that woke through the internet. I love the internet. I love the internet so much. The internet has made my life everything in this reality. Like, best library ever. I've learned about myself completely through the internet. Like, you can literally Google me as Hermes, as Thoth, as Ningish Zeta, as Zoroaster, as Idris, as Quetzalcoatl. You can Google me as all these entities, and you can see how they are all connected. And Google, the whole internet, is just like full of information about all the things I've done. It just takes me as Chase to actually make that make sense. Otherwise, it doesn't really mean anything. Like, the information's there, the truth is there, but it doesn't mean anything until someone can communicate it more consciously. And that would only take someone who cares about it, and boom, here you have the individual spirit who has created all these things to express himself. I'm kind of the only one who can care about the caduceus in the way that I do. Obviously, other people can only care about something I created from the space of wanting to consume it, not create something new. That's why you're tapping into the root of the symmetry. Symmetry, we are all about creating something new. But when you've already been gold, it can only build upon the past, baby. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, baby. Nature works. All this alchemy stuff works. This is why everyone who builds religions and all these systems that want to control people outside of themselves, they are students of Hermes. They're students of Tahuti Trismegistus. They're students of Chase Clarence Calloway. They're students of Mercury. To the max. Everyone's my student, because literally the only reason that I materialize a body into a realm is because I'm called away from my space. Hence why I am the synchronicity. Nothing is a coincidence when you're interacting with me, and you're going to know that. And I'm more than happy to talk to you about all of your subconscious life. I care about everyone here so much. Like, everyone is creating life right now. So your role is really important. The way that you communicate, the way that you create life, does affect me, even if I don't know you. Because the fact is, we are all on one planet. So this is how I can afford to care so logically, because I genuinely actually just care about nature. And I straight up just care about the simulations from a thoughtful level. So that then trickles into the emotions of like, okay, well, the best way to care about the simulations is to care about the emotions of the spirits paying attention and communicating their existence into the simulations, because that's what's making the simulation possible. So when Zuckerberg and Facebook Meta is coming out here trying to push virtual reality in a way that's going to further disconnect you from your body, and it's further reliant on cannibalizing the simulation that us as indigenous individuals have already created, yeah, I'm kind of going to have to be here for that. That's Chase Clarence Calloway. I'm kind of going to have to be here for that, because this tech company and these tech corporations in general are trying to turn this earth into a prison planet. Everything related with the Industrial Revolution is only focused on using metal to imprison earth. We literally see this with Iron Man creating Ultron. He wants to create a suit of armor around the world to protect humans from an alien invasion, because we're obsessed with being protected from alien invasions. I wonder why. I wonder why the movies that we're watching, and Independence Day, constantly obsessed with humans protecting themselves from alien invasions and us worshiping that idea. I wonder who's making us worship that idea. I wonder how their technology is affecting this planet. That they had, this planet has totally different technology before the Industrial Revolution. For some reason, the Industrial Revolution and everything related with it completely wants to flip the script and use technology that creates disease inside of our bodies. I wonder why. I wonder why technology that creates disease inside of our bodies would be so pervasive now, when it seems so unnatural to our environment. It seems so alien to our environment. Pyramids were built from the top down. All of this industrial stuff is focused about going from the bottom up. That's the opposite of indigenous. What is the opposite of indigenous? The only word I truly have is alien. So then when all these movies are subconsciously obsessed with talking about aliens already being here, like that movie They Live, Doctor Who has his shape-shifting lizards in British Parliament. Or whatever. I don't know if it was like British exactly, but it was definitely related with the UK. And just in general Europe. Doctor Who has been on the shape-shifting alien thing, of course. Because the whole point of Doctor Who is like basically them revealing themselves. Just like, yeah, aliens. But making it super, always the whole point is to make you think that it's not real. Because the way that they're depicting it is not real. It's their limited white supremacists from the bottom up version that you can pick apart because it doesn't actually make sense in physical reality. But the whole point is that they're weaponizing a very true vibration, or else the show wouldn't be relatable at all. The story wouldn't be relatable at all. The history just would not be relatable at all. We wouldn't care about building on it. That's the point of tea. You see that? The tea, the truth. The truth is relatable. Nature is relatable. So anything that is created has to be built on truth and built on relatability. Hence why I have to use this English language in a way that is relatable. I can't communicate my imagination to you in my own language. That's not your truth. Your truth right now is speaking a language that you and I did not create. None of us created it. Because that's the stable thing based on us going through time. Like, this isn't a new language. So now we can see how it has affected time and how us speaking this language for a certain amount of time has affected the nature that we've been creating since speaking this language. Versus speaking different languages that allow us to communicate with physical reality in entirely different ways. That's how Egyptians would fly. Speak a totally different sonic frequency and be fasting and have high amounts of DMT in your system. You best believe you're flying. Straight up.